Hey everybody, welcome to DTM Beyond the Draft for this week's episode. I'm Eric, that's Christian. You know how we roll here during the summertime. A couple of topics here for today's show. One is a question that was asked by a fan or a viewer. I don't know if they're a fan. They might have just stumbled across us. But first of all, Christian, did you know we had viewers?
I was told that we have at least one, and I just thought it was my mom. So the fact that we've got more than that, this is nuts.
Oh, we doubled our viewership right there. Now we know we have at least two. So we'll get to that question a little bit later on. The big topic we're going to talk about today with the parks being crowded, it's summertime, is the etiquette you should practice while you are waiting in a queue for an attraction. Christian and I both have extensive attraction backgrounds, and we want the guests to behave properly, as you and I do 100% all the time, even though we don't work in that space anymore. We'll get to that in a moment. But also, as we like to do over the last couple of weeks, is talk about our wardrobe, because Christian's favorite thing now is saying our wardrobe is provided by. So Christian, let's talk about our shirts today.
It's provided by the Main Street Dudes. Calling all Disney dudes. You got to check out their stuff on Instagram and obviously on their website. Got to go to Corner of Maine. We'll put all the details in the video detail description or whatever, but you got to check it out. I'm wearing the same shirt you were wearing last time, Eric.
Yes.
I'm wearing the Cosmic Tour this time. You're actually wearing probably one of my favorite shirts of the collection.
Yeah, I got there's a snake in my boot from Toy Story. You see the snake here on the front. Most of it's on the back. I can't really turn around right now, but
we'll put it on the screen. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll put something on the screen. Christian knows how to do graphics. So that's what I got on this week. Big shout out to the Main Street Dudes for furnishing us here for the show here today and over the last couple of weeks. And
we're already repeating shirts though. I'm gonna have to go buy some more.
Yeah, this time we will contribute to the cause.
Seriously.
All right. So again, thank you to the Main Street Dudes for our attire here today. Christian, the big topic for today's show that I want to start out with is attraction queues and how you should behave when you're waiting in line for your favorite attraction, or maybe for your not favorite attraction, but one you just want to do because you got a lot of time and you're in the parks all day. Now, I sent you a text message the other day saying, hey, this is something we should talk about. I'm sure other people have chatted about it before. I haven't seen anything recently, so I thought we would take this opportunity to tell people to freaking behave, because there are certain things that you do in a queue that you just shouldn't do. And I think it would be a nice public service announcement for everybody here today.
Attention aviators, we ask that you please not sit, stand, lean, or climb on any of the ropes and chains. Yeah, I've got that sucker in my blood, whether it was soaring around the world or over Guardians of the Galaxy or Tower of Terror when I was briefly there and all that. Man, I will tell you, I chalk a couple of things up to me having been better because I was a cast member. This is one of them, is etiquette at Disney just in general, but in the queues, man. And I don't know if you're one, I'm sure we'll get into this. I don't know if you're one who likes to play games on your phone where you hold a sign on your head that's got, and then everybody else starts playing around and no one's paying attention to the queue and all of that stuff or whatever it is. But there are the good ways and bad ways to wait in lines at Disney. And so this will actually be a pretty good conversation. But like I said, as a former cast member now, I consider myself better for it because, man, you don't realize how annoying people are until you are in control of all those people.
Oh, the funny thing is everybody complains about how long the lines are, right? I'm going to be waiting here for an hour. Well, do your best to mitigate that a little bit. You can shave some time off if you pay attention. It's really not that hard. All right, first things first, we're going to talk about entering the queue, Christian. Now, when you first approach the entrance of the attraction, if you have a question for the cast member that requires an answer that is longer than one word, get out of the way, step off to the side, don't block the entrance, let everybody else who knows what the heck they're doing enter the queue without impedance. What say you, good sir?
But I have to ask where every closest bathroom is, and then I have to have a rebuttal to that answer because I think I know better than the cast member.
Ah, okay. Well, then you bring up a good point. Never mind, block away.
Or I'll set a nice little picnic table up right out in front and
Yeah,
try to have a 20-minute conversation. Or
sure.
and this happens, and I loved it when family visited, but good Lord, if you know the cast member at the entrance, step off to the side, man. Don't block. Oh man, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in 30 years. Get out of the way, Gertrude. I'm trying to go on Space Mountain.
He said Gertrude. Yeah, this isn't hard. Just get out of the way. Let everybody in. That's step one. All right, now we're getting somewhere. And when some of the attractions don't have it immediately at the front. A lot of them do, but the Lightning Lane Redemption kiosks,
Oh my
posts,
gosh.
whatever.
What are they called?
Yeah. When you got a party of 7, right? It's
One
a
person. You
pretty
need
good
one
chance
person.
one person is going to have all the redemptions on their phone. The other 6 of
Go.
you, get out of the way.
Oh, the
Get out of the
worst.
way.
It's so bad.
Don't block another podium. Let other people do it. Keep things flowing.
I'd complain about the DAS program because that could be a thing, but it seems like everyone else online is complaining about it, so I think we'll just leave it.
We don't need to touch that. It's being done. It's being done by everyone else. So that's another thing at the front.
That's a good first thing to stop at, though. Is like, what? Get out of the way. Move out. I don't care if it's the bathroom question or is this ride scary? It says it on the sign. Just use your eyes.
They don't know how to quantify that for you.
I'm gonna get in so much trouble for this. I don't care.
We don't know how scared you get. Anyway, the other thing that happens a lot at the beginning of the queue when you enter it is party separation.
Oh man.
Here's the deal. If you have now, this is one where numbers kind of come into play, but really shouldn't. If you have a party of 7, 7's going to be my magic number to use today because it seems like groups are getting bigger and bigger. I know the standard's usually 4, but let's just go with 7. If 5 of you enter the queue and 2 of you are lagging behind and another party gets in between you somehow and you're separated, the 2 of you, I think it's okay for the 2 of you to say, excuse me, and move up with your party. Anything more than 2, the rest of your party up front has to wait and let everybody pass them until you meet up with your people.
Nothing was better than, oh, we have some family in line. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, feel free to go catch up with them. And then there's a small village that's just trying to get through oh my gosh. Now here's the other thing. Let's say we get separated by one group, right?
Okay.
There's one group in front of us.
Yeah.
3 ahead, 4 behind, or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you let that group go ahead? Or do you say, hey, we need to get to our friends up in front? Like, because every once in a while I'm just like, just go. It's one vehicle. Like, y'all can go ahead of us. We need to. But then, like, there's some people in the party that are like, why did you let them in front of us? I'm like, because we're on the ride at the same time. There's 24 rows on the roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, there's a ton of variables when it comes to seating and boarding, and of course we're going to get to that in a little bit. But since this happens so early in the progression of waiting in a queue, if you're a 4 and a 3 and you're divided by one party, I think the 4 need to let the middle party go by.
Very nice.
My general rule is to always let the people behind you go in front of you to meet up with your lagging party members. I'm giving people a leeway here that if you have 1 or 2 that are behind, they can excuse themselves to pass. That's like the most. Like, don't do more than that. You're being awful. At that point in time, let the group pass the members of your party that are ahead. That way you guys can all come back together. You bring up the interesting point about boarding. Does it really matter if you're all together with your giant group? You're all not going to sit together anyway.
No, it does not.
I get if it's an extended queue, like it's 45 to an hour, and you want to hang out with the rest of your party during that whole time. That makes a lot of sense. But like if you're just walking up there, it doesn't really matter. But I mean, I get it. Nobody's going to think about that. That's too much planning involved, and I'm not giving anybody that much credit. You can yell at me all you want, but no, 1 or 2 are allowed to excuse themselves up. That's it. No more.
Yeah. It gets to be a problem, and it is such a hindrance. It's not really a hindrance on the operation of the attraction at all, right? It just pisses people off.
Can I tell a story real quick about when I
Absolutely.
Okay.
Why not tell a story on a podcast?
I worked in attractions a long time ago. I will not mention the attraction because, of course, there's a lot of proprietary things involving Disney. Okay. I had a group come up to me once, and I asked, "How many are in your party?" Now, this is probably a conversation for later, but it kind of has to do with party being broken up, so it fits here too. I said, "How many's in your party?" And they said 90. That's 90. Not 19, 90. Okay. Now, for those of you who are avid Disney Parks fans, you'll know that a cabin, as they call them at Star Tours, I just ruined it.
Oh, you mentioned the attraction.
Yeah.
None of us knew what you were talking about until then.
I did it anyway. So a cabin has 40 seats in it. Okay. So they said 90. And I'm like, this is awesome. I'll take the first 40. I'll put them over there. I'll take the next 40. I'll put them on the second one. And I'll take the last 10 and put them on the third one. Doesn't get more simple than that. And I'll just count them as they come through. This will be real easy. I figured it was a big travel group, right? They all came from a distance and they're all hanging out together all day. Great. Good for you guys. The first 7 come through. Now, they're all wearing matching t-shirts too, by the way. So couldn't make it more easier for good old Erik, who hadn't been a cast member all that long.
There you go.
The first 7 walk through, and I point them to the first cabin. The next group, if you will, comes up there. These people are not wearing the t-shirts. And I'm like, all right, hold on a minute. Are you with them? And they go, no. And I'm like, what is going on here? So I say, hold on a second. I go to the other 7 and I said, how many in your party right here, right now? And they go, oh, 7. And I said, why did you say 90? And they said, oh, well, there's some, a few back and some are just coming to the attraction. Some are in the, and I was like, what?
Some are in Adventureland. Some are on It's a Small World.
I'm like, what? Why would you? That doesn't, I guess it could pertain to this conversation, but again, with the whole broken up party thing, I just thought these are just some of the things we dealt with as cast members in attractions.
There was one time I was working at a little tire shop off of Route 66, and somebody came up to me and I said, how many are in your party? And they said 32. And I was like, oh, that's easy. Because it was like, however, I don't even remember the specifics of it, but however it worked out, it was like, oh, 2 people per car, go. Yeah. Because that was exactly how many cars we had on the thing. Okay. Was 2 people per car. So I was like, this is easy. That was it. And of course they didn't figure it out. But that's another list for another story for another day. But my favorite ones is how many people are in your party? Oh, hold on. Let me check. How do you not know?
You've been doing this all day. You should know.
It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You've been here since rope drop. What are you doing?
Why wouldn't you count before you? Well, that's for later on.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But Maggie's with the stroller, so there's only 4. Not rocket science.
You get, how many are here? 4.5. Because the little one. 5.
It's 5. 5 people.
Anyway, okay. Back to what we were talking about.
Yes.
You and I can tell stories all day.
Well, we're not legally allowed to, but we could.
I think what we're talking about is not backstage secrets.
Oh no, yeah,
it's not. Right. These things happened in front of guests. They saw it happen, so it's not like
head to our Patreon for the. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, for the real stuff. No. But okay. Next thing is, and this one is going to pertain to waiting through the entire queue. Pay attention. Pay attention. Christian talked about it. The whole put the game up on your forehead thing. That's fine. You're trying to pass the time. I get it. Pay attention to the queue moving in front of you. Now, my question to you, Christian, because I have thoughts about this. A, is it acceptable to be like, hey, move up? Or B, do you do some other type of thing to get them to pay attention to move up? Or C, do you wait silently and hope they notice?
I will take B. My classic move is to get as uncomfortably close to them as possible, and then I whisper in their ear, and
Okay.
then they usually. No, I'm kidding. No,
Yeah,
usually
Christian's
it's like,
trying to get ejected. That's good.
usually it's like I'll be like, okay, I'll never be like, hey folks, you're dumb, you ain't moving.
Yeah.
But I'll usually be like, the old
Yeah.
look.
Yeah. I'm with you. I take option B, somewhere between B and C. Usually I start to make a move. Like if I'm leaning on a rail, not sitting on a rail or leaning, I don't lean on chains either, just the posts.
Swinging on chains.
Yeah, don't do that. It's not a ride. Yeah.
It's an easy way to get your head cut open, by the way. Anyway.
Yeah. Don't do that. I'm not going to delve into that part of waiting in a queue. Just don't do that. That should go without saying. But I will, stop leaning on the rail or whatever I'm leaning on and start to like creep forward a little bit. I don't get too close. But if they see me starting to move, that might get somebody in the party to swivel their head and be like, "Oh, let's go."
Well, and it's one thing when it's one person that, like, I hate it when it's the one person holding up the line, like even their party's like, come on, and they're like, but like when like we've gotten into this world, and this was one of my biggest complaints the last time we went to Walt Disney World. You haven't been to Walt Disney World in 7+ years, it feels like. So things
not quite 7 years yet. We're getting there though.
Things have majorly changed where everything is on your phone. Every single thing you do is on your phone. And so it's very easy to just get lost looking at your phone the whole time. And so I can understand that, because what if they're booking a lightning lane? What if they're, what if they're making a food purchase to get ready for mobile order?
Yeah.
First off, love you for using mobile order. Let's get that thing moving more. Love that. But at the same time, it's like, dude, get your head out of the phone. Enjoy the theme park. There's nothing worse than, like, I hate it when kids have phones at the park or iPads at the park. I'm like, why is your kid watching a video on an iPad when World of Color's going on? But when it's adults that are stuck in their devices, I'm like, we as a civilization are doomed.
Yeah, what a great family vacation. You're not to pay attention.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, move up in the queue. All right. To go along with that, the next question is, how much space should you give the people in front of you? It doesn't need to be a giant gap. Just don't be all up in my grill. That's all I'm asking for.
I'm going to use the word enough. They should have enough room to do. Oh, what if I took a step backwards? They should not be in your lap if they take 1/2 step backwards.
Yeah.
You are too close.
Yeah, I'm Italian. I speak with my hands, right?
That's
what
Italian.
We do. We're from the East Coast. This is what we do.
Yes.
If you're in the swing zone, you're too close. Like, I need the perimeter of a certain radius because I don't want to hit you. So, first of all, yes, I know my own hands are my own responsibility. The point is, back up.
Well, back up and just like realize that, like, think about how much you would hate it if the people behind you were that close to you.
Yeah.
Like,
look, I'm not talking COVID era 6 feet. That's not necessary. Maybe half that. Maybe even a third of that. Yeah. I'll take 1.5 to 2 feet.
I shouldn't be able to smell your chimichanga from Rancho del Zocalo when I'm waiting in line for Haunted Mansion. All right.
Okay. Wait. But I might want to do that. So
it's a weird thing you're into. Anyway, moving on.
Might encourage me to go get a chimichanga. I eat a lot of things.
Listen, Disney has their marketing ways, but they're just putting people in line standing close to each other. So that
when you said I don't want to smell, I thought you were going to go somewhere else, and unfortunately, that's unavoidable in a lot of places.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh boy, yeah, I know.
So anyway, back up. Please make sure your toddler is not slamming into my shins. I don't want to look down and see the toddler in front of me to my right, infringing upon, like, be in control of your kids.
Oh, man. Can we talk about the fact that like kids get ahead of you, like your entire party? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
And then you hear, whatever the name would be. Let's call him Marcus. Marcus, come back here.
Usually it's little Timmy or little Johnny. But
Little Timmy or Johnny.
You went with Marcus.
But I will say, and I have a kid now.
Yeah.
And we've been to Walt Disney World whilst in the walking age. We've been to Disneyland whilst in the walking. Can we please stop with the kids on leashes thing? Like can you just control your kid like the rest of us do? Yeah, my gosh.
That's also a problem.
Another topic for another day, but good Lord, man.
First of all, I'm not going to tell you how to raise your kids. That's not the point. The point is keep them close to you when you're waiting in a queue.
Yeah.
Because look, I'm tall. I might not see them. I don't need them taking my knee to their chin because I didn't notice that they were trying to hang out on the chains or hang out on the rail in front of me. Yeah. So just keep an eye on them. You should be doing that at all times anyway in a place that's so populated.
Also, can I talk about you mentioned it, the railing and the chains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything more awkward than like, let's say in a like, you know, where there's switchbacks of the line for people who don't know that we call those switchbacks at the parks. Like when you accidentally touch a stranger's hand and you're just like, oh, no, this was mine. Why are you touching my hand?
Yeah. when you're sliding your hand on the rail or you're right with the switchback when you try to grab the post.
Or the worst, when you go to lean back on the rail and you break someone's hand.
Oh.
Sorry, lady.
You ever seen people lean on the magnetized chains and they separate and you fall right into somebody?
I'm not going to tell people that there's security camera footage just on replay in the back of somewhere, but if there was, that's where I would stand all day.
So you can watch everything on a loop.
Yeah.
So again, and these are things to help you avoid embarrassment too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're helping you.
Really, like I said at the top, this is a public service announcement. Okay, so now you're waiting in the queue, you're paying attention, maybe you're eating. Christian mentioned the chimichanga. This one grinds my gears, to take a phrase from Christian and Family Guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like that was my thing.
If you're eating, this does not pertain to drinks, because drinks it's a little bit more difficult. I would like it to pertain to drinks, but I get it, it's a little difficult. If you drop any food items on the ground, a piece of something, popcorn, whatever, are you leaving it there or are you picking it up?
Depends.
Oh, we have a depends.
Okay. So here's the thing. Like popcorn, that's easily, what's the word I want to say?
Collapsible?
Pick-upable.
Pick-upable. Okay.
Pick-upable. We're going to go with that, but also collapsible. I could squish it and it'd be fine, right? But if I'm eating, let's say, the grilled cheese and birria sandwich from Jolly Holiday Cafe, or bakery, which I wouldn't, by the way, because you can't walk around and eat that thing. That is like anyway. But
people will try to.
If something hits the ground and splats, I don't know what you want me to do. There's only so much you can do.
Well, I'll tell you what you're going to do, Christian. You're going to forfeit your napkin.
Okay, here's the thing.
Oh
don't get mad.
I already know what you're going to say.
What if I didn't get a napkin? I will tell you, and Sarah will be my witness to how many times I bring like the tray of food over to a table and she goes, "Were there any napkins?" And I was like, "I'm sure there were, but I didn't look for them."
I'm pretty bad at remembering to get them too. I've gotten better over the years, but I get it. But you can pick up the food item. I don't need you to sit there and wipe down the sauce or whatever that got left behind. Although it'd be nice if you did, because that's what people are going to track through the whole queue.
That's true.
Custodial is there if it's needed. If it's not needed, take care of your own stuff. Pick it up off the ground. That's all I'm asking for.
I agree. I mean, in the 99%, yes, I'm picking up whatever it is. But
yeah. I mean, and it's going to be tough to pick up some things, like especially if you spill a drink. I know that's going to be hard. You're not going to sit there and mop it up because maybe you only have one or two napkins, and that ain't going to be enough.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least do the best you can to alert a cast member.
Just do a little bit. Yes. Let a cast member know, hey, I accidentally completely spilled a can of chili back there. So y'all need to figure that out. Have a great day. Oh, by the way, 2 in my party.
Oh no, if you do it right at the load zone. Oh no. That's rough, because the casts are trying to group everybody. And
Yeah.
anyway, just pick up after yourself. I mean, you wouldn't want that stuff all over the floor in your house. Don't leave it on the floor of an attraction queue.
Be a good human being.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we've got all the housekeeping taken care of in the queue, now you're approaching the load zone. Christian mentioned it earlier. Please know how many people are in your party. It'll make things go very quickly. You're helping out the cast members. Do your job.
And on that note, if you have a preferred place to sit on the attraction, let us know before we tell you where to sit.
Yeah.
Oh, could I get the front row instead? Cool. You could have asked me that 5 minutes ago. You'd already be there.
Yeah. Now we're going to cause a loading delay. And the last thing we need is to cascade this thing.
Also, minor gripe, kind of to do with this topic, but kind of not. When you go on Soarin', everybody wants middle front. Middle front, please. Can I get middle front? True story. The attraction was designed to be seen from middle, not from middle top.
Right.
Middle. And if you actually sit in middle top, you actually do lose screen. So stop acting like feet are right in front of your face and you can smell these guys' shoes. You can't. They're not that close. Anyway.
Right. No, you bring up a good point. I mean, that's another PSA inside of our PSA.
Also, back of the roller coaster, always faster. Front of the roller coaster, you can't see anything because there's a train in front of you.
There's a train.
Maybe just on Big Thunder, but that whenever they say row 1 on Big Thunder, I'm like, man, like what is? There's nothing good about the front row on Big Thunder Mountain.
Also, my favorite part about it's faster in the back. Really? Is it faster in the back? Because if it was faster in the back, you would pass everything in front of you.
Okay, well, you know.
So what? Am I wrong?
No, the wind is faster. The wind speeds up. It only waits for you to get to the back, then it goes faster. It's fine. Anyway.
So the back is not faster, is what you're telling me.
It's kind of
the train is moving at the same speed the whole way through.
Yes, but it has to whip. It has to whip over the hill and. Just
I get that, but in the parts where you are free moving,
and
not attached to a chain,
no, correct. There's nothing.
It's moving at the same speed.
Yeah.
Okay. The wind hits you a little quicker in the back. Say that. Don't say the train's moving faster because it's not. If it was, you would hit the thing and hit the car in front of you. It's not how that works.
Man. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Simple physics.
Fair enough. Anyway, back to the basics.
Back to what we were talking about.
Know how many people are in your party.
Yeah.
And yes.
Oh no, you finish your thought. I just thought of something. Go ahead.
And also know where you want to sit. And dare I say it, don't get picky about where you want to sit. Try something new. Don't try to sit in the same seat every single time. You never know. You might find out that the attraction is the same speed in row 6 as it is in row 11.
I forgot one thing in the middle of the queue, which would pertain more to Disney World than Disneyland. The interactive experiences in the queue. How long is too long?
I hate them.
How long are you allowed to stand there and keep touching
until
whatever?
when the line moves, you better be moving.
Thank you. That was it. I just wanted to make sure that I got that one out.
The worst part about that stuff is because it becomes more of a game and more of an attraction than the attraction itself. And it's like, can you get out of the way, you 3-year-old? I want to go on the roller coaster.
Yeah, because then when you pass them, then they're going to weave their way back up and catch up.
Anyway, back to load zone.
Yeah, back to load zone. Anyway, know how many people are in your party. Like Christian said, tell them where you want to sit. They will accommodate. And get this, when you ask them, hey, can I sit in row 1? Can I sit in row 12? Whatever. They're going to ask you to step off to the side and not block the other part of the queue, right? Like we mentioned earlier. Isn't that weird? It's like they know what they're doing.
Concept.
And my final and biggest thing about waiting in a queue, and it kind of ties everything together, so it's more of a general thing. Pay attention. Pay attention to instructions. When the cast member tells you where to sit and you don't have a special request, go to that number. Pay attention to everybody in front of you and how they're lining up. Line up like them. Don't be that person who, when the cast member says, behind the yellow line, please, you put your foot on the yellow line because you think it's funny. Back up. Stay behind the line. I know at Space Mountain things are different because they're moving a little quicker and they want you up against that gate as much as possible. guess what? Do what they tell you to do. Things will be a lot more smooth, and you get to ride quicker.
Lean on it and fall. We'll all laugh at you. Anyway,
please don't do that. Please don't do that.
No, don't do that. No, but and even when it comes to getting in the attraction, right? Do it efficiently. Don't take your time. If you've got stuff that you want in a bag so it doesn't fly off your person.
Oh my goodness.
Have it in the bag before you get to getting in the ride. Oh, hold on. I gotta put my ears. These little beauties. Thanks, Patrick. We should have that done by now, people. Let's go.
Yep.
Oh man. And what y'all don't know, and I don't know if I'm allowed to tell you people this or not, but I don't work for the company anymore. So here it goes. Sometimes the cast members are, maybe we haven't been getting people on the rides as quick as we can. So they turn it into a little challenge against all of their friends of who can get things going. And it's just to promote efficiency around the resort. Listen, it's one thing if you're like delaying the people behind you. It's a whole nother thing if you're keeping me from pizza party. Okay. Just let's go. Okay.
I would also like to point out to piggyback off what Christian said, that is without sacrificing safety.
No, 100%. Yeah.
They might be moving quicker, but they're going through other steps. So everybody just calm down. They know what it's fine.
My pizza party is the most important thing. Besides safety, of course.
The other thing is too, if there's a video, like a spiel video, or even if the cast member is spieling, they're going to tell you what side the seatbelt is on when you sit down. Pay attention. Or make it a game with yourself and see how many people don't pay attention. They're like, where is it? Where is it?
I will still, we talk about, interactions with people that we've met at the parks.
Yeah.
I had to tell Paul Stanley from KISS where the seatbelt was 12 times on Soarin'. So, I got that little thing to remember because he was clearly not paying attention. So, by the way, Paul, probably not an avid listener to the show, but if you are, hey.
Hey, shout out to KISS. And I'm guessing he was tall enough that he did not need to put the belt through the loop.
No, belt through the loop in the center strap before buckling. Nice work, pal.
Did I miss anything? Was that a good comprehensive list?
No, I think it was. I think that is.
I know I text you a whole thing.
Be a good person. Don't be dumb. Move along. Move along. Move along. Move along.
Yeah, I think I hit everything. I hit everything I wanted to touch.
Eric,
the other one is in the pre-show. Don't recite the words, but I know that's been a big thing going around lately on social media. So I'm not going to touch on that.
Now it's a whole nother thing, Eric. Once you get on the attraction, and a cast member collapses, and you have to drive a submarine around the lagoon. Did you hear this story?
No.
There was a cast member who fainted, and a guest had to hop up in the submarines at Disneyland. Here's the thing. You and I would know how to operate.
We'd figure it out.
We don't know that attraction.
For the most part, we'd figure it out.
For anybody who's not ever been in attractions, every single ride is different. And there's always a different button on each thing. But can you imagine? Can you imagine being on attraction and that you've never worked attractions, then you have to drive a submarine that probably should have been out of commission 40 years ago?
There's a technical question surrounding that attraction that I'll ask you about when we're done recording. I can't talk about it on the show, but I wonder about the mechanics of that thing in a situation like that. But
when that happens, how is that a thing? Anyway,
you almost wonder if it's going to turn into them having another cast member sitting in there somewhere.
Worst shift ever.
I don't know what they would call that position. Driver B, backup driver.
Oh, that would be the worst.
No, I didn't hear that story.
Oh man, I meant to talk to you about that in our little pre-show meeting, but we didn't. So I
take it the cast member's okay.
From what I know, yes, but
okay. All right.
But some guest has a heck of a story to tell, man.
Or 30.
30, yeah. And their story was, why did I get on the submarines? Why isn't this Pandora yet? Anyway,
reserve judgment until announcements
Yeah.
may potentially happen in the
Oh, I
future.
can't wait.
I don't know anything about that.
No.
I'm just saying I will not comment on anything.
I just fear
unless
that if
something
it
is
if it
said.
hasn't been taken out yet,
Yeah,
what's gonna push it over the line? Like,
right.
I think they're
Right.
just committed to this sucker, and I don't know.
It could be. I don't know. Eventually going to stop making parts for that thing.
Yeah.
You'd think, if they haven't already. Anyway, we talked about it earlier, so that's our queue etiquette segment for today. If you have any thoughts, comments, make sure to go to all of our social media channels. You can comment here on YouTube. You can go to Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok. Leave your thoughts. Maybe we'll have a little segment next show and hear what you have to say if you have any more ideas on top of what we talked about here today.
And also, if you ever do get put in the position of having to commandeer an attraction, just don't click that big red button, man. That's gonna make everybody's day a lot longer.
It's yep.
Although in that event, it probably would be appropriate.
It might get you help a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
That's for sure. All right, Christian, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's go back to what we were talking about on the last show, Lightning Lane. It was a hot topic of discussion, still is, will be for a long time, I'm sure. We had a comment on our video last week from @Mr. Max Rebos, who asked, what about the people who buy it and then as a resort guest, you log in 7 days before your first day to schedule your park attractions and see that most of the rides are completely sold out already. Of course, this would be referring to Walt Disney World system where you're allowed to log in 7 days before your trip, and then you try to get some, but you notice they're all taken away. I guess more of the question is here, what happens with your payment? If you can't get the rides you want, do you get refunded?
Nope.
Yeah, I
They'll
don't.
never do that.
I'm not sure they have that listed in the policy, but you ain't getting your money back for that. You're just gonna have to pick what they have left, and then once you use that first one, then you can start getting other ones. Well, which is what we had to deal with before, by the way.
Yeah, and this wasn't, at least to my memory, this was never really a big issue unless you were going during like Christmas week, Thanksgiving week, when those resorts are just packed back to back to back, where they've got to change out the rooms and start over the next. I mean, they've gotten an allotted amount in the system that is usually going to be okay for people to be able to go on vacation. And I don't remember it being much of an issue. And yeah, if it is, you're still going to get a good experience out of it. It just might not necessarily be the one you want. For at least on the multi-day pass. If it was the single pass and you like wanted to buy Tron, but now you've just got a single pass sitting, I don't think that's going to be the way it operates. Then I would understand that. But with the multi-day pass, okay, so you can't get Space Mountain. You can choose Big Thunder Mountain in that top tier, I think, for Magic Kingdom, or go to, well, I was going to say Animal Kingdom, but they're all the same tier on Animal Kingdom. But like you're still going to have a good experience, and that's what kind of Disney comes down to. And let's be honest, Eric, you and I have both worked attractions that maybe didn't open that day because oh, this was what my entire vacation was. Okay, no, it wasn't. Like, it wasn't. and we know that, and Disney knows that, and that's why it says on your ticket, hey, you might not get on everything, but you're still getting the value of the Disney experience out of it. And I think, yes, let's say you can't get on Rock and Roller Coaster because it's closed that day because you went to Hollywood Studios. Well, if you got on Slinky Dog Dash, it was still a pretty darn good day. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. I think if I may play devil's advocate here, when you look at the number of Lightning Lane passes that will be available on a daily basis, it's going to be a lot more than who's in the hotels.
Mm-hmm.
And since the hotel's guests are allowed to book 7 days in advance, you're probably going to get everything you want. I don't think it's going to run out because the day guests who aren't staying on property, they don't get that 7-day advantage. So they're not going to be able to take away everything like you were able to, like you're able to get.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
the other bonus is, and I know it's odd to say it's a bonus, but look at the ones that are on the single pass that you can purchase.
Mm-hmm.
If those were on the multi-pass, those are the ones that are most likely going to go first, right? And those will be gone. That's not going to happen with this system. So you're more likely to get it, even though you have to pay extra for it.
Well, and the other thing, Eric, and I don't want to frame it as like a positive to a certain extent, but it came out in the news that the international guests aren't going to be able to book their multi-day passes until they get to the United States. And for some people, they might still be, even if they're traveling internationally, getting there the day of their reservation start. And so that is that is gonna completely change this. And everybody's freaking out about it, going, "Oh, why would Disney do this? Why would Disney didn't set up a disadvantage. This is a legal thing. Like, this is not, there's no way that Disney did this intentionally, because they're not going to set up anything that keeps them from selling resort rooms. Like, they want you to stay on the resorts. They don't want to give you any reason not to stay at the resorts, which is what this 7-day, window thing is. So, but like, I really, especially with the international thing that came out, I don't see any of these things filling up. I do think that this is going to be a process that works. And I know that's a stretch, because there's been a lot of processes that Disney's done recently that didn't work with this fast pass front of the line stuff. I actually think this works. I think it's going to be a really good call.
I wonder how many folks that travel to Disney World are here for longer than just their Disney World trip. Do they come just to go to Disney World and then go home? Do they come and stay in the States for a few weeks? I don't know if anybody's going to shift their plans based on Lightning Lane, but I mean, do we now start seeing Disney World trips at the end of their stay in the United States, just so they can have that extra week at the front, to be able to get, these are all, first world problems, of course, but
it is a problem.
It's do we
become
start
a problem.
seeing a trend? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and when we talk to people at the resort, especially when I worked there, oh yeah, we've been in the United States for 3 or 4 weeks. We did this, and now we're at Disneyland, and it's going to have to turn into that with this rule if you want to go on all the good rides. Like that, that's just going to be what you're going to have to do. And if you are just visiting from, I don't know, anywhere, even I guess Mexico or somewhere, like, it's international, right? It's anywhere outside of the United States. So I'm sure there's got to be some way around this, but it definitely seems like a legal thing. This does not seem like just a conscious decision Disney made. Like I said, I don't think they want to piss people off. I don't think they want to piss off their international market. Because you and I have both been to Walt Disney World when the entire country of Brazil was there. Like, you don't want to make anybody mad. And so I don't know. It's a weird rule. I don't remember it being a rule when it was just Fast Pass Plus, but I think it has to do with the actual transaction of currency that is the mess of all of this.
I don't even know if purchasing a VPN would help.
This podcast brought to you by. No, I'm kidding. We don't have a VPN on us yet, but hey,
nope.
Message us. We'll be here. We got the t-shirts. Listen, I'll take a VPN ad. Why not? Let us know.
If you definitely.
We're not. You want your ad here on Trapped in the Magic?
Yeah. I don't know how legal that is. I'm not trying to get in trouble over here. But I'm just saying. People do illegal stuff, Christian. I wouldn't know. I don't do that.
Oh, never. You know what? You know what some people think should be illegal, Eric? Sitting on a roller coaster in what is not really that much heat in Southern California. Like, well, let's be honest. The whole country's going through a heat wave right now. And I saw a sign on the freeway that said extreme heat, drink water. And I'm like, guys, it's been like 85, like 91.
Yeah, it's not like the heat wave they said they had over in Europe that was 78 degrees.
Yeah, well, that too. But I'm like, in the Vegas area, it's like 110 degrees right now.
Yeah.
Why are we complaining in Southern California? Still, regardless, if you didn't hear the news, the Incredicoaster over the past weekend got stuck, and some people were up there baking in the sun for quite a bit. And Eric, I'm going to be honest, I'm one of those people who doesn't put on sunscreen as much as I can because I hate the smell of it. I hate the feel of it. So I will just try to stay in the shade throughout the day when I go to a Disney park.
Yeah.
If you are just stuck on I can't even imagine just baking there. And eventually maintenance was able to come and, people are rescued off okay, it wasn't, they weren't in peril, but
no,
had to have been a little hot up there, Eric.
Yeah, I went to the Angel game the other day and I got completely burned because I don't like sunscreen or sunblock. Real quick about that. For all of you out there posting, I really hope one day I don't get stuck on the loop upside down. That can't happen. Stop. There's no brakes there. It's not going to just stop upside down. It's going to keep going.
Yeah, it'll crash into the next train.
Or it'll stop at the next brake station.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, it's.
But anyway, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, getting stuck out there for a while, that's not great. I'm sure they got them water or something to help them cool off once they got to them.
Mm-hmm.
There's very specific procedures for evacuations on attractions, as you well know, Christian, and sometimes it takes a little longer to get to certain ride vehicles than it does others.
True, but true story. I only worked one attraction in my entire time at Disney and attractions. I only worked one attraction that had a track, and it was the red car trolley.
Oh, that's true.
So I don't really have. I mean, Soarin'.
That's
what
true.
do you call Soarin'? But like for an actual track, I only had the red car trolley, so I never had to do track walks except for just in. By the way, track walk for the red car trolley. Yeah, folks, if you don't know, a track walk before and after the ride closes, you have to do a track walk. Make sure there's nothing on the track. A nice walk down Buena Vista Street when there's no one on the street in 6:30 in the morning. That was Disney heaven to me. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Let me ask you a question, and
Yeah.
maybe you can't answer this because
All right, maybe I can't.
there's a lot of things that we can't talk about because we're with the company. But you do a track walk in the morning, right? Make sure there's nothing on the track. Now, 10 minutes into park opening, there's going to be something on the track. Do you just stop and try to have somebody clear the obstruction?
Certainly the trolley has ways of stopping itself.
Okay.
If it were to touch something, it's got a system in place. But yeah, as a cast member that was driving the trolley, you have to keep an eye on everything, and
but you couldn't get off the trolley to clear something, right? You had to stay at the controls the whole time.
In theory, you could. You just have to disable the controls.
Oh, okay.
In the easiest way of saying it, you disable the control.
Right.
But I can't tell you how many times people would like put coins on the track trying to get, and we would just like throw our head out the window and scream at them and say, "Hey, what are you doing?"
What if there's like a popcorn container thing that's like on the tracks?
Yeah, you'd have to stop and
you'd have to move
that. I mean, it's granted the trial, any safety system is built to make sure everybody's safe.
Yeah.
Even something like that will tell the trolley, "Hey, stop."
Okay.
So,
okay.
and we would certainly try not to use that system. We would try to see to use our eyes and stop the trolley first beforehand. But
you had to deal with that constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah. There was one time where I was, long story short, a kid jumped in front of the trolley and that emergency stop couldn't get hit quick enough. And the kid was safe. Nothing happened. I didn't even get probably within a foot of the child, but I was like, what? Oh man. Like, you really have to be on your game when you're driving an attraction through thousands of people.
No kidding.
Wow, let me tell you.
Good on you.
Let me tell you another time about how we had a friend named Moses that was driving the trolley, and one time for whatever reason everyone was wearing red, and then I was like, "Oh look, Moses is parting the Red Sea."
I knew you were going to go there.
It was just the greatest thing ever. Anyway,
I knew you were going to go there. I don't know why I knew you were going to go there, but I knew you. I've never heard that story before, but I know where that was going.
Oh, everybody on the trolley thought that was the funniest joke. Anyway,
oh my goodness. But yeah, so everybody got off the Incredicoaster. They evacuated everybody. Everybody was safe. Maybe a little warm, a little cooked.
Yeah, man.
That's gonna happen in SoCal. It gets hot out here. The sun is blazing at this time of the year, and attractions that are outdoor attractions are gonna go down for whatever reason, and you can't just climb out of the vehicle. My best advice to everybody, with the experience we have, is listen to the cast members and follow instructions. Do not take it upon yourself to exit a vehicle at any time. Please do not do that. It is extremely dangerous. Let the professionals help you. They will help you.
Speaking of exiting vehicles, boy, people have had to do that on Tiana's recently, man. Just every single day in Florida, there's it broke again. Look, guys, they're gonna get it. They'll figure it out.
Their downtimes have to be the most efficient.
Oh yeah,
because they've done it so many times now that evacuations are probably going to be pretty easy.
Poor folks, those poor cast members working that attraction too. Y'all get it. We know, and we know it's not the cast members' fault either. Like, it's just it's a new ride, new technology. And here's our PSA to everyone listening: it's not the cast members' fault. Stop screaming at them.
Yeah, stop yelling at them, please. even on attractions that have existed for as long as they have, and even the newer ones, they have to deal with it too. And the odds that you were the first one they had to deal with that week, much less that day,
it's zero.
Listen to what they have to say, follow the instructions. Everyone's going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And
You're
you'll
gonna be
probably
fine.
end up with a lightning lane for it.
Which is one of my favorite things.
If the situation warrants it. If you're
That's
stuck
true.
on an attraction for like 5 minutes, I don't expect anything because that doesn't really warrant it.
The tram stopped because there was a squirrel. Get over it. Anyway,
You can first, as another PSA for everybody out there, you can always ask for some type of, I don't know, I don't want to say retribution. That sounds a little harsh, but you can always ask for something like, hey, we lost some time on here.
And it was the red car trolley.
Oh, that's true.
So I don't really have. I mean, Soren.
That's
what
true.
do you call Soren? But like for an actual track, I only had the red car trolley, so I never. If they say no, they say no. You move on. Eric, let me tell you, we had a great drafting the magic question of the day the other day, and
Yeah, we did.
people showed up for it. So the question of the day was, "What's your favorite thing to do in your favorite Disney theme park?" So narrow it down. Give us what. Lauren Liz 910 said Cosmic Rewind at Epcot, and then in parentheses, and then drinking around the world, which is my favorite response. Eric, I know you haven't been on Cosmic Rewind, but what do you think about drinking around the world?
It's fine.
What?
I think it's overrated,
What?
to be honest with you.
What?
Yeah.
This podcast is over.
But
We're
but
done.
I mean, you know me. I'm not the biggest drinker on the planet, so it's whatever. Look, Epcot's my favorite park. You know that. My favorite thing about the park is the World Showcase. And I just like going through and looking at all the things from all the different cultures. So that would be my favorite thing to do in my favorite Disney park. The eating and drinking, absolutely. I love that too.
Yeah.
Drinking around the world, I'm too old for that, man. I can't do that anymore.
We'll get to what I think of all the culture in the back of the park at the end of this.
Yeah.
Big EJ said the trifecta of Big Thunder, Haunted Mansion, and Pirates. Now this could be at Magic Kingdom or Disneyland.
I was just about to ask you which park are we talking about.
Technically, could that also be? I don't know. Do they have Haunted Mansion in Paris? I know they have Big Thunder. I don't know. I don't know what.
Theirs is Phantom Manor in Paris.
Regardless, the Big EJ, let us know which one you were thinking.
I would, if it's Disneyland, boy, is that efficient. They're all right there next to each other. If it's Magic Kingdom, a little bit more of a walk.
Yeah, a little bit.
To get to Thunder. Yeah.
A little bit. And then Go Blue Disney Girl at Go Blue Disney Girl said, walk around, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy a treat, and sit in the very back row of TMR. TMR. I didn't know what that acronym was. And I asked my wife, she goes, Thunder Mountain Railroad. I was like, there we go. Do you know any other TMRs, or are we safe to say that was Thunder Mountain Railroad? I think it's got to be, right?
Yeah, it should be Big Thunder Mountain.
I've heard BTM.
BTMR.
Listen, Go Blue Disney Girl. Do it however you want. I don't care. But we love Big Thunder on this show.
I'm going to laugh when we find out that there was actually something different. We totally forgot about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it would be us.
Like the T stands for the.
We've got Teacher Miss Brittany at Teacher Miss Brittany saying, I love to pin trade, specifically in Magic Kingdom. I thought that was an interesting one because I don't think of Magic Kingdom much as a pin trading park, but apparently it is, Eric.
Maybe that's why she likes to do it there.
Yeah, well, maybe
there's no competition.
Because I'm not there. I'm not there trying to steal all your pins.
Yeah, exactly.
At Sir William says, people watch with a fresh popcorn and ice cold Topo Chico. Eric and I were talking. We don't know where you can get a Topo Chico in the Disney parks. So if you have gotten it in there, I guess good on you. Follow the rules, etc.
I'm gonna go ahead and not comment on that. Probably for the best.
At JJCast15 it just says people watch at Disneyland, and that's some of the best work you can do, Eric. Just sit on a bench. Mark Brickey sat on a bench for 16 hours just to watch people at Disney.
I find myself, one of my favorite things to do here in California at Disneyland Park is to go to Plaza Inn, get me some fried chicken, sit at a table, and people watch everybody coming up Main Street, entering Tomorrowland, in that area. Sometimes it's during a parade. I'm not a big parade guy, but I'll watch it if I'm sitting there eating chicken.
And just to be clear, people watching is not judging people. People watching is not only appreciating Disney bounding, which has become such a big thing.
Yeah.
Sure, you might be judging a couple people. I don't know, but seeing the flow.
Yeah, I was going to say first of all, me working in operations for so many years, I like to see how the casts are handling the flow. And I also like to watch, and I've found a couple of t-shirts that people are wearing. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I kind of want that. So
Yeah,
like,
fair
you
enough.
know, that's kind of what you're doing. You're just looking at everybody's, different style of enjoying the park and what kind of attire they have on, like you said, and just watching the flow of the crowd.
Yeah.
I was in this where my operations mind goes to. I was in Vegas one time. I was staying at let's just say a hotel that overlooks the T-Mobile Arena out there in Vegas, and
Nice.
there was a concert going on at the venue, and I was up on, I don't know, 20 something floor, so I could see overhead watching the police and the parking attendants kind of move the traffic flow on the streets around the arena. And I sat there and I watched them for probably 45 minutes because I'm that guy who's just like, oh, I wonder how they're going to do this and how they're going to keep things moving. They did a pretty good job. I mean, yeah, there's some room for improvement, but I'm looking at those things all the time when I'm walking in high populated areas. So
we're gonna have to send this to T-Mobile and say, hey, if you don't give us some sponsorship, then we're gonna take that part out of this. So
said, cell phone carrier company arena in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yep. If you want your name here, got to pay up the big bucks. Anyway, at Jay Blossom, is it Blossom? Blossom says, sharing signature snacks / drinks with my friends and family, even if it's blue milk. Which I'm like, nah, bro, I'm out on blue milk. I know you like blue milk. Nah, I'm out on blue milk.
I like everything.
Gross.
Yeah, there's nothing I don't like for the
most
part.
Even if it's blue milk, that's like if I have to, even if it's blue milk. Yeah, me too.
Did you like the green milk?
No.
Okay, all right. I'm just asking.
Just give me a water. It doesn't need to be, we don't need to be weird, people.
Voice
Voice of Reason 23 says people watch, didn't specify. I mean, people watch anywhere. People watch people at Disney Springs all the time and think, wow, they have a lot more money than me if they're walking into that restaurant. At Carly Youssef 626, it's a small world at Magic Kingdom, Disney World. Eric, your thoughts?
That is a rare opinion.
Hey,
everyone's entitled to them. Good for Carly. I want to know if she celebrated a few days ago.
Yeah.
626.
626 day. Yeah. We had it on the Draft of the Magic. We had a whole Stitch broke through our logo. That was great. Gee, thanks, buddy. Whatever. And then from at Christian _Ilton. That's me. My favorite thing to do in my favorite Disney theme park: pretend to care about country's novelties whilst soaking up air conditioning at Epcot. I don't care about the mugs on your stupid shelf. I just need air conditioning. And if somebody comes over and goes, can I help you find anything? The answer is no. I'm not here to shop. I'm just trying not to die before I walk to the next pavilion and drink another beer.
I don't care about the mugs on your stupid shelf, says the guy who's got 38 bobbleheads behind him right now that you can't see because he's got his virtual background up.
That's different. That's not a mug. Regardless, I think that everybody has their own favorite thing at the Disney parks, and this question was proof that that's what the great thing about Disney parks is it's not just the same thing for everybody. Everybody's got their own thing.
I think we mentioned this on one of our drafting episodes last year, that's the greatest part about Disney parks is we all enjoy it in different ways, and there's literally something for everybody, and that's what a good theme park should be, and that's what we get with these 6 wonderful places that we'd like to talk about all the time.
Yes, sir. Eric, we have some crazy chaos coming up. By the time this show posts,
okay.
Ooh, suspense. I know, I was just moving on with my train of thought. Anyway, by the time this show posts, the first round of the Drafting the Magic This or That Summertime Showdown will be over. And we ended it with a bang. We ended it with Pirates versus Haunted Mansion, both at Disneyland. What are you, nuts? You have to make your decision. That being said, the second round starts on Friday, July 5th, and we'll have the whole bracket posted so everybody can see what matchups are coming up. But this has been awesome to see. There have been upsets. There have been upsets that I did not expect. Ornament Valley pulls through, beats out the Tree of Life, which is one of the 4 icons of the Walt Disney World parks. I'm loving to see how people vote here, or it might just be an all Disneyland.
Was that a 14 over a 3 or
it was a 13 over a 4.
13 over a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, just nuts. So you never know what can happen in this draft.
They're the Yale Bulldogs of this tournament.
There you go.
Yeah.
Making reference that half of our population doesn't listen or know about. Regardless, like the pod, like the show, like Eric and I on social media at Eric Pesolano, at Christian_Ilton for most of the things, but then sometimes there's not an underscore, sometimes there's an extra like one because I wasn't the first. Anyway, it's not important. Regardless, follow Drafting the Magic on Facebook, Instagram, X. I was going to say Twitter. It's not Twitter. No, go to SpeakPipe, TikTok, and all the other different places. Make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell on YouTube because I don't know, that's what everybody else says to do. So you need to do it on us too.
Yeah, you might as well just keep it up. Is your name that common? Somebody had it already?
I don't know. I was just trying to be funny. Moving on. Regardless, like the show because we're having a lot of fun with this. And Eric, we said the fall, we're bringing back the drafts.
Yep.
It's July. We are fast approaching draft time once again. We've already got some feelers out for some pretty cool guest judges that are going to join us. You never know. You might see some repeat guest judges from the past as well coming back to the show. I'm ready for season 3 because I got blown out in season 2. So I am ready for season 3, baby.
And we got a lot more fun things coming down the line too for this upcoming season that we haven't talked about yet that we will at a later date.
I don't even know what he's talking about, folks.
Yes, you do. We talked about it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, I probably do, but right now I genuinely don't know what you're talking about.
It was that thing that I brought up the other day and you were like, we talked about this 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you guys are going to love it.